Welcome to my channel, Investing with Gaston. Today I'm going to be talking about short-term rentals. I have a lot of people that have been asking me how to start in short-term rentals, how to do investments in that. So I'm going to be doing specifically that video today. But for the people that follow me on my stocks investing, if you haven't seen my first videos, suggest you start with the very first videos. One is here on the link here. Click on that link and you can see my video after this video, of course, not before. And don't forget to click on the subscribe button and hit as many likes as you can, and also click the notification bell so I will notify you when new videos are coming in either of my topics. Any video coming from my channel, I will notify you when it is coming. So going back to short-term rentals, which is known for many people as Airbnb or VRBO. Okay, I'm going to explain what actually it is and how that works. So I don't really own, I do arbitrage on some units, and the business is pretty good. I have a decent cash flow every month from every one of the units, and it's something that if you actually do the right beginning, you start the business the right way, you will have a very smooth transition. Now, there are problems, yes, of course there are, like on any other business, but they're easy to solve, I would say, most of the time. Okay, if you start right, the daily issues are easy to solve. The problems that may arise are if you don't do your due diligence at the very beginning when you start doing your business. Okay, and those are the things I'm going to explain so you don't get that problem on the future. So first thing first is there's two types of ways to start in short-term rentals, right? We have one method which is called arbitrage, and it's a lot of people is following that right now. Okay, the idea of the arbitrage is that you lease a unit to sublease to your tenants, to your daily or weekly tenants that you're going to have. Okay, in order to do this, you need to have a contract with the owner of the property. And in that contract, you have to have an addendum that specifies that you are subleasing the unit. So the owner knows exactly what you're going to be doing. Okay? You don't have to say that it's going to be Airbnb or VRBO, but you're saying you're going to be subleasing the unit. Okay? So that way, everything is clear and you don't have any issues. Something else that's very important too, and it's a key to this business, because if you don't check that, you may be losing a lot of money in the future. Key thing is that you need to make sure that the location where you are going to be doing this business allows for short-term rentals. So you got to check with the city and you got to check with your HOA, because if either of them they decided this not allowed, then don't go, because your fines or penalties may be really high. Okay, and then you're going to end up losing the business, and of course probably losing your investment money right away, and it may affect you completely. So those are the main things you need to check and watch every time. Now, arbitrage is good because you actually not buying a unit. It's simple. You don't have any equity except the 3 months deposit that you're normally going to be asked to put, plus your expenses on furnishing the place. Okay, but your furnishing, you can take it out anytime and just put it in a storage or whatever, and still it's going to be yours. The deposit, however, you know that if you break the contract, you're going to lose or part or all of the deposit. So that's the only risk that you have on arbitrage. Okay. Now, you got to consider that between arbitrage and owning a property is the same kind of business, but different ways of the economics. Okay. On arbitrage, in order to recover your money, you need time, because you're not going to recover your money in the first month. So you got to estimate that your recovery will take at least 6 months to recover your deposit money. Okay, even if you don't break the contract, but you're going to have that money tied up for there until you finish your contract, right? So if let's say that your Airbnb or VRBO, your short-term rental business goes fine and you go for 10 years, your deposit is going to stay in there for 10 years, right? So in order to recover that deposit, what you do first is, you got to at least 6 months to recover your investment money, if not more than that, right? I normally estimate really a year. In my case, I did recover after a year, but it was because actually COVID, we got 2 months completely closed, shut down, paying the rent, but losing money like crazy. But after that, we recovered, and we have already kind of recovered all the money. So that's what with arbitrage. Now, when you buy a property, of course, you're giving a 20% down payment, but that money is actually on your equity right away. So the money you put as down payment on when you buy a property for that will be your equity automatically. So you can actually use it later on. If you can actually do a refinance, anything else, and you can get your 20% somehow, some of that 20% back if you need it at some point to do something else. The furnish will be exactly the same cost as if you do arbitrage, so there's no difference. But you have that equity back. So I'm gonna explain the difference between the two of them in a minute on a chart that I have for that. But right now we're gonna explain other ways of doing this business. So apart from arbitrage and owning a property, you can also do a joint venture with somebody that owns already a property. So if you know somebody that owns a property, then you can actually offer to manage the business. You find your host, you find your cleaning crew, you find your maintenance guy, and you manage basically all that for the owner, and you go split as whichever way you want with the owner. That's one way that actually you don't spend much money. I mean, your investment could be just the furnishing. That's basically it. And you can help somebody that maybe have an empty property sitting down that can be rented, and you can actually make money out of that more than actually if he's renting a long term. Another way is also managing the property. You can offer somebody to manage the property, but that is not an investment anymore. Because if you do managing the property and you're going to be kind of the host and managing your cleaning crew and everything else, then that becomes a job, and that's not investing. Investing is when your money works for you and you don't work for money. That's the main thing in here. Okay, so that's what it is with that. Now I'm going to explain on a chart now the difference between arbitrage and owning, especially in terms of money. All right, let's go to my chart. Chart for arbitrage versus owning a property. So this is the difference between one and the other one. Okay, so let's start here. On arbitrage, you're going to be renting an apartment or a house. You're going to have to give 3 months deposit, which normally the first month is included in there. So actually your deposit is going to be basically 2 months, but you're paying actually your first month right away. Okay, so in this case, you're normally going to start arbitrage, let's say in a house of $200,000. Okay, let's say the property of the house would be $200,000 to say a price. Okay, so on arbitrage, let's say a $200,000 house, let's say it's rented at $2,000 a month, which is about average in there, and for 3 months deposit, so you have to give $6,000 for the 3 months deposit. Okay, if you buy the house at $200,000, you're going to have to give 20% down, because it's a conventional loan, it's not going to be FHA, so you have to put 20% down, so that would be $40K. Okay, now furnishing the property, normally for both sides would be exactly the same, will depend on the size of the property, so it doesn't make any difference if it's arbitrage or owned, you're going to buy the same thing. For a 3-2, maybe somewhere between $7,000 to $10,000, depending on the location, depending on other factors, but that's about the average right now. Now, on the house, when you own the house, you're going to get equity right away. Those $40,000 that you put in is your equity. So this money is straight your equity right there. Okay, so you are earning already $40,000, or you're recovering your deposit, $40,000 right here on equity, while on here you don't recover anything, not at that point. Then every month you're going to get cash flow coming in from your business, right? So on arbitrage, you're getting your regular cash flow. Now remember that on arbitrage, you're paying rent. So you're paying more than what actually the owner is paying in mortgage, HOAs, rental, taxes, insurance, and all that. So you're going to pay more than that, because of course the owner is going to make some cash flow too the time he's renting you, right? So your cash flow would be average. But if you own the property, your cash flow will be much higher than actually in the arbitrage, because in here you're not paying to somebody else, you're paying straight to the bank, your taxes, your insurance, all your regular payments, and that's all you pay. You don't need to pay any additional to somebody else. So you have a higher cash flow from owning than from arbitrage. Another thing that you earn from owning the property is the appreciation. So if the house appreciates, let's say like between 2020 and 2021, appreciation was about 3%. So you getting another 3% appreciation on the value of the house. So out of those $200,000, you basically getting $6,000 in a year without doing anything else but just owning the property. Okay, and then you also have when you own, you have tax depreciation. So you can depreciate your house when you do your taxes, which in arbitrage you cannot, because it's not your property. Now, when the contract expires, right, on the case of the arbitrage, when the contract expires is when you actually get your deposit back and you recover here. Basically, you're going to recover if everything is good and you are ending your contract within your terms, and everything is clean and nice and the way it should be, you recover for your $4,000. But if your deposit expire or contract end, let's say you have a good business and you're running good and you want to run it for 5 or 10 years, at the end of those 5 or 10 years is when you're going to get your $4,000 back. Okay, in the meantime, all you're going to be getting is your cash flow. Okay, so that's one thing to consider always when you do arbitrage versus owning a property. And of course, when you finish your contract, you're going to have to get all your furniture out of the property and bring it up either to a storage or if you have another unit that you're opening, it might go to your new opening, your new to a new unit. All right. Now, on the side of owning a property, your contract doesn't expire. So this is another great thing. You don't have a contract that expires. So you can actually end your business at any time. You don't break any contract. The only thing you need to make sure is that when you decide to end, you close your calendar in whichever page that you have advertising, and after that day, then you don't have any guests coming. So that's the only thing you have to be concerned about it, and that's it. And after that, your property is completely yours for you to do whatever you want to do with the property. And if the business is not doing really good, let's say, and you want no more to deal with, short-term rental, of course, since you have no contract, you have no problem. You do that, and you can convert it into a long-term rental and still keep making money and cash flow coming in every month with that property, which, of course, in arbitrage, you cannot do that. And one advantage of that is that all your furniture that you have in that property, when you rent it as a long-term rental, your rent is going to be higher because it's going to be a furnished unit. So you're making more money with that, using that furniture, and you don't have to pay storage for that. You just, let the furniture actually pays an additional for the rental. So that's my arbitrage versus own chart, and that's why I love, to me, the idea of owning, and that's what I'm looking right now to do, purchase a unit just for short-term rental, so I can have my own unit instead of doing arbitrage. I'm still going to be doing arbitrage because my arbitrage units are doing really good, but I want to own some properties too. Now, nothing wrong with arbitrage. Arbitrage is good because if you don't have this $40,000 to start, but you have like $16,000, $20,000, and you're not sure that you can make the other 40, then go for this amount and go and do arbitrage. Nothing to lose with that, I mean, it's a business no matter what, and still you're going to get cash flow coming in. Okay, so that's what the comparison is between one and the other one. And this is my Airbnb screen, actually, for one of my units, the unit in Brickell. And what I'm showing here is a calendar. This is the calendar for July. This is the calendar part of August. This is June, and this is May. As you can see, it's been a pretty busy season, and I expect the season to be even better on the days to come. On July, for this particular unit, we expect to gross $8,335 and probably a net of $2,601. This is just to give you an idea of how short-term rental works. And this is actually how short-term rental works in a base. I'm going to be giving more explanation on the next videos because there's a lot to cover. There's so many details on how to look for a property, and those are going to be the details I'm going to be explaining in my next video. So don't forget to subscribe and actually hit the like button as much as you can. That helps my algorithm. And also click on the notification bell so we can notify you of our next videos coming in. And if you have questions, comments, please post them below. It will help us a lot. And actually, pretty soon I'm going to be actually creating some kind of list so you can contact me, and I will be able to send you some information, a booklet that I'm creating specifically for Airbnb, and I'm probably going to be doing the same with my other topics in the area. So please don't forget, and also look at this video. If you have missed my investment videos, you can look in there, And of course, wait for my next coming video on Airbnb, which is also coming soon. And also, I'm going to be probably giving once a week news regarding Airbnbs, investing in stocks, crypto, and real estate, and finance. Those are my areas. And with that, thanks so much for being with me, and hopefully I will see you again on my next video. Thanks so much.